While I was preparing to create this video, I was wondering how to best introduce this tool to you. After some thoughts, I realized that the best way is to let the creators speak for themselves. So let me introduce you to PHP Stan, a powerful tool that helps detect bugs before they reach production. So what's PHP Stan? It's a tool that helps identify issues in PHP code. It checks for the syntax mistakes, types errors, incorrect function calls, analyzes the data flow and, for example, looks for unused code or missing return statements. It works best with the object-oriented, strongly typed or well-annotated code, so that's another reason why it's worth giving object-oriented programming a spin. If you are wondering how to use this way of creating a code, you can check my previous video, you can find the links in the video descriptions. We know what the PHP Stan is, so let's now try to discuss why it's worth to use this tool. For this reason, let's run a quick test. How many issues can you spot in this simple code within, let's say, 10 seconds? If you find at least 2, you are on the right track. However, there are many more issues to uncover here, so take your time and look for others. Based on my knowledge and plans, there are at least 4 potential issues to be aware of. 3 of them are non-critical, meaning that the application might still work, but they could produce a warning. There is, however, one critical factor that could affect the business results. So, for example, in this line we have the incorrect value passed to the getPost function. WordPress requires an array with WP query arguments instead. In this line we have the incorrect value passed to the log function, which requires string but the integer is passed. Then we have the unreachable code caused by the condition that is always true, and the issue that the notify function is never used since it's private, so it's allowed only to be used in the test class and it is not used there. I must admit that sometime after I created this simple class with the specific problems in mind, I forgot where some of the issues were located. It took me a while to figure out what was wrong there, and this experience highlights how time-consuming manual code analysis can be, especially when the codebase grows. In my career, I have already spent a huge amount of time reading through the code and searching for problems that can affect the business results, whereas the PHP Stan could identify all of them in less than a second. So why it's worth to use PHP Stan? Simply to save time and provide better results. PHP Stan gives immediate feedback on the code quality so developers can fix bugs not only before reaching the production, but even before reaching the repository. The tool helps create code that works better, is more compact and performs tasks with the less effort. How to install PHP Stan? The easiest way is to install it by using Composer. Simply navigate to the WordPress root directory in the terminal and run the following command. If you are not yet familiar with Composer, you can refer to the guide to get started. You can find the links in the video description. To let PHP Stan analyze your codebase, you have to use the analyze command and point it to the right directory. So for example, if the project PHP files are located in the app directory, like in our case, and for example the enc directory, you should run the following command. This command just runs the analyze command from the PHP Stan tool and checks the app and enc directories. And of course provides the feedback and the report about the results found in this codebase. To make using the tool easier, you can add the Composer script to your project's composer.json file. This will allow you to execute PHP Stan with a simple Composer analyze command. How to configure PHP Stan? Instead of setting the tool each time with the command line arguments, you can simplify this process by creating a project configuration file named phpstan.now. This file is automatically resolved when you run the analyze command. For instance, rather than typing the paths to check in the command line whenever you want to inspect the code, you can list those directories once in the configuration file. There are many other settings you can configure, so be sure to check the official documentation. In my case, in the current state, the project configuration is pretty simple. We just inform the PHP Stan to logs errors from the 6th level, which the explanation you can find in the documentation, and we'll ask the tool to analyze the enc and app command. Guys, this article is a part of the larger initiative I've been recently putting my heart into. I've been working on something I'm really proud of, a new ebook all about the code linting and formatting in web development. It's filled with practical tips to help you set up the project environment so your code stays clean, consistent and free of those annoying little errors. The plan is to sell it for $15, but if you are on my newsletter, you will get almost 70% discount. Just drop your email in the link that I add to the video description and you will get it just for the $5 when it's ready. How to install PHP Stan with WordPress. Running Composer Analyze command in our WordPress theme in the current state causes many errors, mostly related to undefined WordPress functions. And that's because a few more steps are needed to ensure PHP Stan works in the WordPress. The current configuration tells PHP Stan to check only the app and ENC directories, but WordPress functions are not defined there. They are defined in the other layers higher in the hierarchy, so PHP Stan doesn't recognize them. To fix this, you need to install and load a WordPress extension for PHP Stan. Just navigate to the theme's root in the terminal, install the extension with the following command and include its extension.neon file in the config. So the current configuration looks as here. We just add the extension.neon file in the includes key of our configuration. When you run the tool now, there are no more errors about missing WordPress functions. However, there are other errors indicating that something is missing. They are related to the constants that are defined in the theme, so why they are not resolved yet? That's again the matter of the tool configuration, which tells PHP Stan to check only the app and ENC directories of the theme, while the missing constants are defined in the theme's entry file, the functions.php, which is located elsewhere. To address this, we need to include the files that should be loaded before the analyzing process in the bootstrap file key of the tool configuration. So in our cases, we inform the tool to include the resources/functions.php, which is our theme's entry file, before performing the analyze command. So running the analysis process in its current form produces significantly fewer errors. The remaining issues are related to the codebase and tied to it, and require manual resolution, and we will address them in the next section. One more thing to consider is how to make PHP Stan work with the ACF. ACF, which is Advanced Custom Field, is a popular plugin often integrated in the themes or plugins, especially the custom ones. To solve problems with missing ACF functions like getField in the PHP Stan, we need to install the ACF stub files and include them in the tool configuration file. Again, we use the composer require command for this, and after installed we can define the stubs in the scan files key of the product configuration. This problem highlights the matter of dependency hell. The more external methods and classes you integrate into WordPress project, the more stubs you will need to add. To find them, try searching for the plugin name along with the stubs term on Google. If you can't find the required stubs, consider ignoring certain types of errors as explained in the next section. How to ignore PHP Stan errors. You might want to ignore some errors found by the PHP Stan for various reasons. For instance, you can't find the stubs you are looking for, or it is a known bug and you don't have a time to wait for a bug fix. Fortunately, there are a few ways to handle this. The first and the simplest one is using the comments. It works the same way as with the other analysis tools like PHPCS, slint or stylint. Just put the PHP Stan ignore command near the line you want to ignore and specify the error code. Another way is by using configuration and adding the regular expression to the configuration file under the ignore errors key. And the third option is using the baseline, but since I'm less familiar with this, I insist you to refer to the official documentation if you plan to use it. How to integrate PHP Stan with VS Code. Like other linters such as stylint, slint or PHPCS, you can configure your VS Code to display issues as you write the code. Simply install the extension from the marketplace. This is useful because it allows you to spot bugs right after they are created. So as you can see, once we have the plugin installed and the VS Code working fine, we can spot the bugs as we write the code and just immediately fix them. So how to solve errors reported by the PHP Stan. Let's get back to the WordPress theme that we built. After configuring PHP Stan, 2 errors are left in the codebase. Upon closer inspection, it's clear that the tools works great and it's already helping us write more efficient code. The first issue points out to the unnecessary check for whenever a value is empty. This is valid since the instance has the object type, so it's never empty. It can be removed from the codebase. The second issue highlights that the resolver class instance is being assigned to private class property, but it's never used again. So actually, there's no need to assign it to the class property. The class can be initialized itself. After fixing the problems and running the tool again, no more problems are shown, meaning that we did a good job. As you can see, the tool correctly analyzed the code, identified 2 issues in the codebase and contributed to reducing the size of the codebase. And don't let yourself think that removing a few lines is nothing to be proud of. Consider a bigger picture. In real-world projects, achieving even a small reduction in the codebase size is a significant gain. And remember, PHPStan won't replace you as a tester. It only helps to find the trivial bugs, so we need to stay humble. And remember that we are the owners of the success of the project. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it the thumbs up, it really helps me out. Also, don't forget about hitting the subscribe button and turning on the notifications so you never miss any new content. I'd love for you to follow me on my social media platforms for more exclusive content, or checking my website with the new branding, or checking the Coditive website where you can find other really useful informations. I really value your input, so please leave a comment below with your thoughts, questions or suggestions for future videos. I'd love hearing from you, and your feedbacks help me create a better content tailored for you. So thank you again for spending a time with me today. I'm looking forward to see you in the next video. Until then, take care and stay inspired. Bye bye.